God is in control. Even though this wicked Pharaoh was doing everything he could to eliminate this people group or control this people group, God wasn't having it, because God had a plan. Pharaoh couldn't get in the way of that plan. In fact, the way God works is so cool. He just subverts everything. When there's evil, he subverts it. He turns it on its head. And that's what's happening right now. We see this evil. We can't imagine how there's a good God in control. But guess what? When this story's over, we're going to go, oh, just like we do at this story here, we go, wow, God is up to something. We now see it because we know, oh, Moses was going to lead the Israelites out of the slavery and bondage that they were in and brought them to the promised land. And we go, wow, God was in control and leading the whole steps of everything. Man was in control of the evil. God was in control of the good that was coming out of the evil. Think about this Nile River for a second. This is the place where babies were being thrown to be drowned. And where is Moses placed? In the Nile River, where he is drawn out for life. That's called irony. This river of death for every baby boy Hebrew becomes a place of salvation, a place of deliverance, a place of life. And that's what God does. He uses the things that are foolish to confound the wise. He uses that which was meant for evil and turns it for good. We think of the cross of Christ. The cross of Christ was a death instrument. It was a torture instrument. It symbolized the power of Rome. You go against Rome, you'll be hanging on that cross. You double-cross Rome, you'll be on that cross. It was humiliation. It was torture. It was death. And what is it now today? A symbol of hope, a symbol of salvation, a symbol of new life. That's what God does. At this time, in the world, in the culture, women were not esteemed as high as men. Neither were children. But women were not esteemed. Women were second-rate citizens. So far in our story, there's 4 heroes and 1 bad guy. And all 4 heroes are women. That would make a Hebrew go, is God uses the outsider. He uses the one who you would have never thought. And that is hopeful for anybody who thinks, I'm really not really worthy, because you're just the one that God likes to use. He doesn't use the powerful. Rarely. He uses the powerless, because that makes his power all the greater. You look at it and you go, I can't do nothing but give glory to God. And that's what happened when we see the story. Not only does he give Moses a family and a heritage, Moses hasn't done a thing yet. In fact, the first thing he's going to do is murder somebody and have to go on the run. That's what we're going to hear about Moses later. So the first couple guys are not the greatest, and it's all women, right? This is subversive stuff God does. Anyway, he gives, oh wait, there's 5, because we're about to see. There's a 5th woman. There's the sister who stuck her neck out, sitting by the Nile River, watching the basket that Moses is in. The mom who took her chance on the baby. The 2 Hebrew midwives in chapter 1 that didn't do what the Pharaoh said by murdering all the boys. And then there's Pharaoh's daughter. Just happens to stumble across this baby boy floating in the river of death and has pity on him. This non-believer, this non-Christian, Pharaoh's daughter, this Gentile who we'd never think God's going to use, right? He only uses the good people. He only uses the Christians. They're God's people. No, he doesn't do that. God uses who he wants to use. And God uses those who are willing to be used. So Pharaoh's daughter sees this baby and says, oh, this is one of those babies that should be killed. What do I do? And the sister, quick on her feet, runs up out of the bushes. Oh, hey, Pharaoh's daughter, you want me to go fetch one of the Hebrew moms that's nursing right now? And we'll get. Yes, do that. And then what does she get? She goes and gets Moses' mom, her mom, brings it, and now the baby boy is going to be nourished by his own mother. That's how God does it. In the middle of a baby holocaust, here's Moses. And not only that, but she's like, here, I'll pay your wages. I'll pay for whatever you need. Just take care of this baby. He covers Moses completely. Completely. Those God calls, he equips. My big idea for this week is nothing can stop the plans of God. We look around and we go, how can this be? Is God even still at the helm? They say God is dead. They said that a long time ago. God's dead. Science and whatever. God ain't dead. His plans are subtle, subversive when it comes to evil. They're subtle. Moses wasn't going to free his people for 80 more years. The people alive didn't see Moses for 40 years. He went under Pharaoh's house. He was raised in Pharaoh's house. The people of Israel were in slavery and bondage for those 40 years. And they were crying out to God. This Pharaoh made their life real miserable. And they're crying out to their God. And what's God doing? In the background, he's given Moses an education, an education that he would need to lead millions of people. He's given him the top rate education and preparing him for the plan he has. And so when you look back, if you're a Christian here right now and you look back over your lives, has he prepared you for what he wants to use you for? 100%. Our problem is we go, I'm not ready. I don't think I'm ready. I don't got the degree. I don't got the credentials. I stutter. That's one excuse Moses used. No, but whatever it is, we just feel inadequate to be used by the living God. But that makes you the type of person that he wants to use. Do you feel worthless and helpless in the big scheme of things and even in your own life? Like, man, one paycheck, my job, I'm one paycheck away from poverty here. Do you feel that sense of, I am not all that in control of my life? Good, because you're not. You're not. I don't care how type A and how together you got it. You're not. You're one illness away from calamity. If your heart's set on success and thriving, it would be calamity. If your heart's set on the eternity, then there is no calamity. It doesn't bother you because you got something better you're waiting for, you're looking forward to. God gives us hope. He gives everybody hope. He gave women hope when they were just beat down and passed over and to the side. And you see him with the people when Jesus comes in the New Testament. You see him having who was his heart for? It was for the lame, the weak, the poor. That's what God's heart is for. And we are all poor. We are all lame. We are all weak when it comes to our need for God and him to be in our lives. We are all in that underprivileged category. Bill Gates is in it. Tesla dude's in it. Everybody's in it. Ain't nobody getting past 120 years. We're all going to die. And then what?